Welcome back, everybody, to another segment of 120 Seconds. Right now, I'm feeling really, really fortunate because I did not get Jugaflued this year, which is fucking crazy. I am feeling just fine. So I bet I wake up with a fever tomorrow. But anyway, continuing on with the live interviews conducted at the Gathering of the Juggalos, this one is Mayday. So I'm a huge Mayday mark. I love what they do. Even when they switch it up, if it's more rock focused, if it's more hip hop focused, if it's more reggae focused, I'm with it. I like all of what they do. I've been a recognized mark since the early 2000s. So, this was an exciting one for me personally. I'm, grateful for everybody who sits down with me. This one was a touch more difficult because, their plans kind of changed a little and we had to adjust on the fly. And, again, I celebrate the fact that I'm able to just adjust and roll and make things happen. So I think it's a really fantastic interview personally. And obviously, I would like for you to check it out because, I think Mayday is just really, really dope. I always have. Their live set was really good at the Gathering. And I hope you enjoyed it as well. And if you weren't at the Gathering, check it out. You missed it, but I'm sure you can catch Mayday on the road somewhere, and you can obviously be at the Gathering next year. So, again, live interview at the Gathering of Juggalos. This one was on Thursday night, actually at the beginning of ICP set. So I missed the first several, I don't know, 6 or 8 songs of the ICP set, and then kind of a long story where Burns took me back to my site so I could drop some shit off. Went back to the gate and actually ended up catching back up with Recognize on the backside. And he and I watched the set together from behind the stage. And, it would have been cool to record that conversation too, right? So it was just a really good, I don't know, the hour plus of hanging out with those guys. So I appreciate their time. So again, as always, thanks for checking these out. This is Mayday at the Gathering of the Juggalos. More of these to come. Welcome back, everybody, to another segment of 120 Seconds. As always, I am Stockwell. I am sitting backstage here at the Gathering of the Juggalos with Mayday.
What up?
What up, what up?
What's going on, world?
So if you watch my series, you're aware of the fact that I kind of put artists on the spot and I asked them to explain themselves in roughly 120 seconds. But being that we are at the Gathering of Legends and these guys are certainly fucking legends, we're just going to go ahead and skip that part.
Alright.
Damn.
Right.
Skip that.
You know what I'm saying? You're the boss. You get to do whatever the fuck you want.
Well, that's also true.
You know?
That's also true. Not you. Yeah. Now that I'm here, good luck. I might stay.
That's it, man. You let us know.
Man, boss rules.
All right. So, I know a good deal of pre-Mayday Recognize. I was watching TV during the MTV shit, and then was following the battle shit and the when he was battling and hosting. He and I have discussed it before. And when I used to see him, I used to always do the, you're not popping bottles with the rock shit. And every time he would be like, my brother's like 25 now. And he was like 9 when he did that or whatever. But
Hell yeah.
so over the years, when I've run into Rec, we kind of do that little banter back and forth. And I know a lot of pre-Mayday Rec. And like I talked about, the Sewer Sounds mixtape was with that track specifically. I don't know, embarrassingly or not, a lot about pre-Mayday Burns or Anonymous.
Okay.
So I'd like to kind of put you two on the spot to start things and say, where were you? What was your experience? What were you doing previous to Mayday?
Would you like to go first?
Take it back. Way back.
I go first? Alright, so before Mayday, I basically got into entertainment business, dancing.
Okay.
I was b-boying mainly, which led me to the first band that I got into called Fusic. And through that is how I met Mayday. We opened up for Mayday, and then Mayday asked me to jump in. It was like a rehearsal or something. They were making some switches. The band members were kind of like moving around. So that's when I came in, and the rest is history, bro. To be honest with you. Yeah. Burns.
Yep.
I've just been a rapper, dude, forever. Dude. I've been a musician forever, man. And Mayday was a thing before Rec was there too.
Yeah, that's the next question. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
This has been forever. I don't even know when this started, man.
This
Me and
guy.
my homie Plex were probably, I don't know, kids, 15, 16.
You know what you could mention? What was called before? What you guys started before?
Evolver? No.
Revolver,
Evolver.
bruh.
Evolver, yes.
Evolver, yes.
But yeah, no, I mean, the first Mayday joint that came out, Quicksand, is probably fucking predates May Wreck by fucking 6-7 years at least, you know.
Oh yeah. I mean, I was hanging around in the scene. I mean, this guy he don't like to go back too far. But I was hanging around in the scene as a
My memory
fan.
don't work that good.
I was hanging around in the scene as like a young buck, like nobody knew who I was. I hadn't really gotten to the battles yet. Fans of the shit that was going on in Miami, because I live like 30 minutes north, right?
Okay.
And that 30 minutes, it's like nothing on the map. But in terms of culture and what was going on at that time, it's like worlds apart.
Okay.
Nothing was going on in Hollywood, Florida, where I was at. 2 kids rapped at the school. I might have been one of them.
Right.
But these cats were down there. Little, they have a couple years older. They're in high school, maybe like at the top end of their high school, bottom of their high school, and I'm in the like freshman year. And they were putting records out already, putting vinyls out. He was in a group called Evolver. Plex was in a group called Algorithm. They had a crew together called The All back in the day. Like I was following them as a fucking fan for real, buying the records. That's how I met them. I was in the crowd watching him perform at an Evolver show, and Plex is in the crowd, and I knew who they were because I liked the records.
Yeah, same.
Mhm.
Yeah, we were just putting out albums early on, man. And so there's like a slew. There's a nice. I guess that's the thing about Mayday is why when members have been able to come in and out is
Yeah.
because it's always been a really fluid kind of like environment. I guess the only constant really, what I'm saying, from the beginning is me, but it's always been fluid in terms of like members that come in and out and do their thing because it's just kind of always been a collective in a way. It's,
I gotcha.
it's a band, but it's also a collective. I'd say at this point it's like a family kind of a collective.
Okay.
Secret society without secrets.
There you go.
Boom.
Unsecret society.
Unsecret society.
Yes. So what's funny is that, and as you can see, pre-rec Mayday is the next question, and then Plex, Johnny, etc. Right? Like
I guess look, like the core starts with me with Plex and Burns.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? These are
It
the
was
two
like
guys.
producer and MC. Like that was the idea.
Producer and MC,
Okay.
and also the core of like even from the beginning, Plex is a producer, but he wanted to be performing with me on stage. So even from then, he was trying to figure out how to bring a live environment to what we were doing, and then from there, it's like it's recognized. Then you get Geo. Then you get Well, also one of the people that was always there from the beginning was our drummer LT, which is kind of an unsung hero in the first half of Mayday. Because part of the reason why we kind of sound so different is because we always wanted to like have stuff for the drummer to do.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And we came from an era where like in Miami electronic music, Miami's like a mecca for electronic music,
Right.
and so. You got a lot of like drum and bass, and you had a lot of like shit like that I was cracking in the clubs when we were coming up.
Yeah, and that actually you talked about the Miami scene,
Mhm.
and like as I'm from Illinois and a Midwest kid, and I say this, I'm a hip hop kid that stumbled onto ICP, not the other way around. I'm in the minority there, and I know that, but like. To me, the Miami sound, especially when I was younger, right? It was fucking Luke, and it was DJ Magic Mike, and right, like that whole thing.
Yep.
Which also, yes,
But
it's also something that influences.
That's what I was gonna ask. Right? Do you feel that that's part of your evolution? Is from that
100%.
sound? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. And all those things kind of also tie into what I'm talking about electronic music as well.
Exactly,
It's all kind of like comes from the same tree. So.
Plus, also, if the music doesn't sound like that, the like Miami bass, like that attitude that you had to have, like kind of is embedded in a lot of the music that you hear from Miami, like on the underground. Like you have to have that energy. You have to be ready to go. You gotta be on stage and fucking get shit moving, regardless whether you're doing bass music or not. It's just like kind of was part of the ethos of Miami.
And I guess again that's something that just crossed my brain for whatever stupid reason. Is obviously there had to have been an underground scene that was under the Magic Mikes and the Lukes that was doing similar shit, right?
Yeah.
So, or similar vein, or however you want to look at it. So I'm sure that was all.
Yeah, there was all
part
kinds of
that
scenes in
process
Miami.
as well. Yeah.
Actually, the fun fact about scenes and shit, actually, I knew Rec for all this. Like, I had no idea I was gonna end up like as a You know,
like working with them.
Like
Because
band member.
he obviously
he was battling.
Yeah,
he was battling
yeah.
MCing,
We
and
were
I was
in-
battling dancing.
We were in a circuit together. Like
Yeah,
B-boy
like the-
MC
the
battles
B-boy
never
jam.
MC battles never happened without B-boy battles.
Right.
The B-boy battles, popping battles were always there. They were the main event.
Okay.
The MC battles were like a lead up
Like
to
a-
that.
like a- I
Yeah.
see.
We were the
Okay.
openers for that. For the
Okay.
B-boy, the B-boys threw the jams, and then they put MC shit on just to bring
Yeah.
in new people, you know. So like we'd be at the same jams, and by the time we got in Mayday, we knew each other already from the
100%.
from the
Yeah,
circuit.
it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's
pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so obviously the elephant in the room here is we're in this camper behind the stage that ICP is currently playing on. We are at an ICP event, a Juggalo event, and I
Whoop whoop.
work for a Juggalo-centric website. So obviously, I like this story, and even if it's like when we talk with other Juggalos or we talk with artists who may be Juggalos, we do the whole "What's your Juggalo origin story?" Right? Like we kind of do that sort of thing. But I like to ask, and I'm not trying to call you guys outsiders, but this is stumbling.
Yeah.
Like so, and these are to me two different questions, very much so. What was your like first official ICP memory, or like heard of, or found out about, etc.? And then the second part of that question is, what was your first like Juggalo experience? Because to me, those are two very different things.
Yeah.
So however you guys want to chime in on.
All right, so I could say
I was like, I think we got a 2-for-1 on that one.
first thing is for me is like when we were getting signed with Tech. All right, Miami is a bubble. You know what I mean? And we don't get a lot of music there. We get a lot of East Coast music. We get a little bit of West Coast music, but we don't get a lot of Midwest music. And so we hadn't, we weren't too familiar with these acts, and even Tech. You know what I'm saying? So the first thing when we were signing with Tech and we were getting with Tech, not him, but the people were letting us know, like, y'all gonna probably be going to go play, for Juggalo. And we're like, what's a Juggalo? Like, we didn't even know what that was. And then when they were explaining, it'd be like, yeah, and they throw things at you, and they were like really, like making it seem like they were out to kill you type shit. Like they weren't
They made it
feeling
sound hella scary in the
nobody.
beginning. Yeah,
They were just playing up the hate aspect to me, and so it was really intimidating to me in the beginning. So that's when I first really heard of them.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And then my first experience was on the golf cart riding through fucking
Gathering.
Yeah,
Right.
what year was that? Like
riding
2012.
through that first gathering.
2012. That's what I'm saying. That was
2012.
like
That was the year that the dude stole
Yeah.
from the camp and they
And
broke
they
his
broke
car
his car
apart.
apart.
We was
Yeah,
there for
that
that.
one.
That was
That
our
one.
first one.
That was my first real experience, and then like that when I was like, damn, this is kind of. Nobody talks about the beautiful aspect of Juggalos and of the gathering and all that stuff, and that's when I really understood, and the intimidation factor left in 2 seconds.
We did
Yeah.
have a crack through in Miami. Not to be basic, I bet Juggalos probably hate this answer, but the dating game, when the dating game went on the radio,
Yeah.
that shit was playing in Miami.
Yeah.
Like when we were in high school, that shit was. I don't know what year that was, but that shit was played. The
Yeah, no,
ICP
okay,
record,
okay.
the dating game.
97 or
That
so,
shit,
yeah.
they ran that shit in the radio in Miami, heavy. That was probably like our first like real like introduction to the group, like in general, because that's how like the way they broke through in Miami for real for us. But yeah, like until we went on that tour in 2012, like we didn't really know what Juggalo culture was or like what it was about, and that first gathering was experience of a lifetime.
Yeah,
like we've been,
that was
this is
amazing,
5 of them now we've been to,
Right.
but that first one. We drove from Miami, however many hours that was. We took the ferry. We took the fucking van trailer.
Get there, bro. It was like a fucking
Yeah.
experience.
So I live in Illinois, right? Cape Rock is in Illinois.
Mhm.
It is 6.5 hours from my house. Like
Crazy.
it's the farthest fucking spot
Yeah,
in Illinois possible.
we had to get on the ferry. Then we saw
Yeah.
like signs with bullet holes in it, and then we got there, and a dude had gotten into a fight, and he was wearing a Mayday shirt. He tie-dyed himself, got into a fist fight with somebody. He was bleeding from the face, stumbling out like he got fucked up, and he got kicked out, I guess. And he came up to our van like just out of it, and this is our first contact.
Yeah.
Like we hadn't even talked to anybody yet. And then like our homie that was driving Tony, he didn't even know if he should I roll the window down.
Yeah,
Roll the window
yeah.
down, man. Like
It's a
come
fucking
on,
zombie.
yeah,
What's
like
going on out
yeah,
there?
like
Yeah.
let's make sure he's all right.
That
Whatever.
dude might bite us.
Yeah, and it was like, bro, I'll never forget. We made sure we checked in with homie. He was like, "It's cool. I'm gonna bounce. Cool." He's like, "I'm glad I got to meet y'all though. Cool." Then we drove in, saw the convertible bus rolling around. It was like Mad Max. It was just like going in, and that whole day with the car getting taken apart. Our
Yeah,
set was
dude,
at
that was
3 a.m. We
Our
rocked
set was
bad.
at 3
Our set was at 3 a.m. It was
Yeah.
cold as shit.
Yes, it was.
We rocked Badlands. Tech stuck around all night till 3 a.m. to rock Badlands with us for
He
the
did.
first and one. I think maybe the only time we've ever done Badlands with him.
Yeah, shouts out to my brother Ted Mac for
You
that.
know, it was like an
He's a
epic
real one for that
experience, and we've had great experiences every time. But
Yeah.
like that first
No,
one
I
is
get it.
just
Yeah, for sure.
out of this world.
Yeah.
Unforgettable for sure.
Yeah.
So
One of
yeah,
a kind, bro.
whenever anybody, when we say like, yeah, we're gonna play The Gathering, down in Miami or whatever, we're like, what? The Gathering? Be like, it's funny how prideful I am of the Juggalos and of The Gathering. I'm like, hell, fuck yeah, I'm gonna go play
And I
The
think-
Gathering.
I
It's
think
the
what-
best fucking festival there is.
I think what a lot of people don't also connect about us, like you could view us as outsiders in a way, but like we relate to that outsider mentality because being
We're
in
outsiders.
Miami and making the music we make, that shit ain't Miami.
we're outsiders where
we're
from,
kind of
too.
outsiders where we're at in a
Okay.
weird way. So it's like it's relatable, man. Like we
Yeah.
dig the vibe, you know.
I'll just be dead honest, man. I'm kind of feeling myself a little bit right now because every time we talk about something, that leads right into my next shit.
There we go.
So,
Let's go.
So, you guys took it more recently in kind of a reggae direction,
Right.
and was that a specific focus? I mean, did you mean to do it, or it just
No,
kind of it's
no.
just what happened?
We went on
we
tour.
meant to do. We went on tour.
We went on
That
tour
common
with Dirty.
Kids or
Well,
whatever,
Dirty
right?
before that we went on tour.
Actually,
with
Dirty
Dirty
Heads
Heads.
before that.
Okay.
We got the opportunity to go out on tour with Dirty Heads, and it was just beautiful, man. It was, for me personally, it was a beautiful experience.
Mhm.
It was a crowd and a type of music that I hadn't been like kind of exposed to, and also I felt that we could do something to that. Like I felt like we could, like I was on that tour. And I told the boys, I was like, "Yo, man, next album we gotta do some reggae shit because this is fun.
It's
This
a
is
vibe.
dope.
Yeah.
It's
It's
like
a
yeah,
vibe."
infectious energy, you know.
But obviously, like us, we got to figure out a way to make it feel like us.
To make it Mayday, right?
Make it Mayday.
Yeah, because like we do the music we do, but what was cool about those shows is like those shows were, imagine we're used to rap shows, like, and then we've been traveling with Strange for some years, like
Right.
Midwest gangster rap shows,
right.
and cool, like we make the music we make, we're not gangster rappers, so it's like it was a little bit like we had to kind of blend in a little bit more in that regard. Where we went on the reggae joints, it was like, wow, this is cool. This feels a little bit more like where we're from. It's Miami, it's island, it's Caribbean
Right.
vibes. And then the positivity of it, females, like it was just like an energy that was very infectious. So we left with that coming off that tour, like, let's do some of this shit.
Okay.
Like it's and
Yeah.
how do we make it our own?
Again, just that honest. It was almost, I wasn't sure if it was like you guys went in the studio and just kind of did what you were feeling, or if it was like something that you had set out to do ahead of time. Yeah.
No, we was feeling it, and I mean, if we want to talk about some music shit, I feel like Mayday is also kind of like I would say children of like reggae rock kind of like vibes, like the Police and stuff like that.
Okay.
We can be classified under that as well. So I feel like it was, while it wasn't directly in our wheelhouse, it was something that's like,
Oh yeah.
I guess musically it's something that is like within our blood, or within like the ethos of like the sound.
Right. And so where that take me, I did a review on my 122nd thing, and I sent it to Reg. It's probably 6 months ago, of Justice, and we will get into the Mayday music part, I promise you. Because
Yeah.
I know that's going to be a huge focus for you
Okay,
to run
okay.
with here. And my review of that album was that basically you guys touched on everything that had been Mayday to me, right? And we were just on the cart here. Tribe was playing.
Yeah, up to that we tried.
Right.
We
Yeah.
tried
So
to
like.
kind of touch it through that a little bit.
Right. So like, again, we're in the car on the way here listening to the Tribe, and I said, I told the guys the first time I heard Mayday, which was that Stuck on an Island album, I said it sounds like Tribe meets the Chili Peppers. That's kind of what I was. That's just where my brain went with it.
I like it.
And again, like obviously very Cuban influenced in your music, especially with Anonymous, with the fucking production master, like that, right? That to me, that's when you were talking Miami and that sound, like that's
Yeah, it's
the
like
Cuban
Afro-Caribbean
sound.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just, and then obviously rock, obviously hip hop, and I feel like on Justice you kind of like tapped into your history and did all that shit.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so I just kind of wanted to see if that's something you agree with, like for that album. And again, was that a focus or just what happened?
The original, when we came to start doing that album, it was coming up on the 20th anniversary of the formation of the group,
Okay.
right? So him and Plex started the group in 2004. So when initially the album, we were trying to slate it to come out in 2004, 24. So it was coming up in the 20th anniversary of the group. So it was like, we've been through all the shit we've been through. Like, we're here, we're still, maintaining. We had done a reunion for the 10th anniversary of Take Me to Your Leader. Everybody got together, Plex, LT, Gianni. We all went to Top Golf, kicked it, drank, had a good time. And Plex hung out with Knobs in the studio and us for a week. And they was banging out ideas left, right, and center. So we had Plex back.
Actually, that same night.
Yeah, right?
Plex was like, yo, I see you producing now. I'm like, yeah, what's up? You want to go to the studio? Yep, let's go. Boom. And that same night.
And you guys just collabing on stuff? Like,
For me, it was a special moment being the last member that comes in. And I wasn't producing when I came in.
Yeah. Justice is also
to
kind
end
of
up doing it with him.
Justice is also kind of like the introduction of Noms as like a producer into the Mayday fold for real, you know what I'm saying? So I would say
it's definitely the biggest, like, he helmed like the production on the album,
so I would
heavy.
say that it's like, that it's also kind of like, for that.
Yeah.
For that, it's an important album,
Right. So, stupid question. Is it Anonymous or Noms? Because I've heard both multiple times.
It's both, actually. It's
Okay.
originally
Okay.
Anonymous.
It's
Lazy people cut it and gave me Noms.
Yeah.
People like,
But it's easier.
Well, I remember, I want to say, the first time that you were with them that I saw, and I don't remember specifics, but you called him Anonymous on the stage.
Mhm.
And then Murs Day came out, and Murs, when he does the shout out, he called him Noms.
Mhm.
And I was like, oh, like. So anyway, it made me wonder.
This is one of those
made me
things.
wonder if Murs was just wrong.
To me, like,
I'm not here giving you choices, people.
to me, like, not Anonymous is the formal one, and then like
it's the
Noms is
original one.
like for short, or if you're like, we're familiar, it's the homie, it's Noms. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so if you're
okay.
kicking it with us, it's Noms. We're not gonna be like, yo, Anonymous, like every time.
That's how he's
I
got a nickname to his nickname.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. And it's
Alright.
funny because Noms just come from Mayday. Like originally, like as a b-boy, that's how I got the name Anonymous, and everybody in that
In the dance world.
in the dance world they call me Noms.
Anonymous, okay.
Yeah. But
Okay.
here they call me Noms.
All right. So I usually kind of leave out with like, what's the future, what's next for Mayday, but I wanted to focus on the Mayday music part of things.
Yeah.
So obviously you are quote unquote on your own now. I don't want to say away from Strange Music, 'cause that's not the right thing to say, right?
Mhm.
But what does Mayday music look like for you guys, but moving forward here?
Question. I would say I want to
Make another album?
I want to make. I think it would be dope to tap in and do like a collabos album.
Okay.
With all the people that we've worked with over the years and stuff like that. I think that would be a really cool thing for Mayday. Kind of just the obvious ones like Tech, but people that we've toured with, like whatever, the MGKs and the and ISOs and all these things. I think that'd be super dope.
Heard it here first.
Yeah, a collabos album is something that we hope to maybe get. It's a tall order. It's hard to do.
Yeah.
So if it doesn't happen, I'm sorry, but we're trying. And then and yeah, man, I think just making more music and then ushering in like the next generation kind of thing.
Well, that was
I feel like as we become like a legacy kind of act and we play on the legend stage, 25 years, whoop whoop. Where you start to think about like, okay, my kid's going to the studio now, wanting to record and shit, so you start to think about like, how do we turn this into like something that, like, where the sound, like legacy kind of can like live on for longer and stuff like that,
All right, so you said legacy as in
And we want to put out albums like
I got a personal.
We want to put our sound on other artists.
I also got no, sorry to cut you off. I also got a personal goal for me. Like we talked about this. We said like, yo, once we get off Strange, start our own thing. We got to at least take a swing on one full album because the landscape was changing so much. Like with just our lives, the ages we are, like kids, jobs, like shit you were doing on the side, hustles and shit. And we're like, yo, what are we going to do next? Are we going to put out an album, whatever? So we did Justice. It was a learning curve. It took us about 2 years to get everything kind of in order. But we've talked about it in studio many times before. Like, I would love to match or exceed the catalog amount that we put out on Strange, which is a tall order. We put out a lot of fucking records on Strange, you know what I mean? But I would like to, 10 years down from right this moment, be like, yo, we went and did a run, 7 or 8 albums, and kind of doubled the catalog we had. But the difference is, this new catalog, we funded it, we own it, it's ours. You know what I'm saying? That's like a goal of mine. It's like
Well,
a
you,
pipe
I
dream.
mean, you brought up legacy, and then you said your son. But I mean, is it a situation where you're maybe looking into outside acts, or you be very
Well,
specific?
Yeah.
We talked about
yeah,
it.
no,
talked
we
about it.
We talked about it.
we have a few acts that we've been thinking about that we fuck with, that we've worked with locally. That we're like, oh man, it'd be dope to produce him, you
Mhm.
know, and kind of like, you know, put our stamp on some artists and kind of get into that kind
Okay.
of vibe too.
Yeah,
know
I
what
saw you
mean?
guys with Cap Callus, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, Cap's the homie.
He's living in
Yeah.
Thailand now.
Cap's the
Oh, is that
homie.
right?
He's Mr.
Yeah,
International.
You know,
He's where?
Cap
He's
is
living in
another
Thailand.
person that we'd love to,
Cap,
you
you're
know,
in
like
Thailand, bro?
produce an EP for
He's
him,
out there.
or,
Okay.
you know, stuff
Yeah,
like that,
right.
man. People
That's-
that we fuck with, and I think we have like a very specific perspective on the way we want things done and the way we like things to sound.
Yeah.
And so, you know, whatever, man. I feel like it would benefit a lot of people, man. You know what I mean? Shit, ICP, come at us, man. Let's make some music, bro. You know what I mean? Let me produce the
Yeah.
next ICP
Yeah,
album.
there's not an ICP Mayday collab, is there?
Come on,
Nah.
man.
Is it? That's real.
Nah, there
I
isn't.
never even thought about
That
that.
would be fire,
I mean,
dude.
that's
That would be
that
super
is
fire.
too fucking bad. It
Yeah.
really is.
But yeah, stuff
yeah.
like that, man. You know, we want to expand and you know, we feel like new artists again. So there's a lot of like, all right, you know, there's things that new artists have to do that you either have to commit to want to do, or is it like, all right, we just kind of like, you know, servicing the people that love us now and kind of just doing what we want on that side. So there's like there's a little bit of duality there that goes on, you know.
Yeah, that is amazing, and that is everything that I had down on my piece
Hey.
of paper. But I did have one more thing that specifically came to my brain,
What's up?
and I don't know why I thought of it, to be truthful with you, but I remember an older interview where you guys were talking about doing your solo tracks occasionally as Mayday,
Yes.
and whoever it was that was interviewing at the time was like, "You don't ever do One Foot in the Grave," and Rec was like, "Burns hates that one."
No, I didn't say he hates it. I
What-
said he never wanted to do. We never added it to a Mayday set. You know
Yeah,
what
but
I'm
he
saying?
said
Like,
because he doesn't want to, he didn't like to, or what was it?
we tried to get it in Mayday sets before. We just never been able to work it out.
I guess probably because I tend to lean, you know what I'm gonna say as part of my own insecurities, but I tend to lean towards the upper tempo kind of like stuff.
It is very much like a stop.
One Foot in the
slow.
Grave is a little bit of like a slow. You got to make sure the audience is locked in.
Yeah.
So it's like, yo, playing that song to an audience, if we do play it to
Gotta
it, they
commit.
don't know who it is, don't know
And
who we are or something.
Even in my
Yeah.
solo sets that I have done it, I would do it at the end of the whole entire set.
yeah.
Which for us, we doing shortcuts mostly is our closer. So it would be kind of weird where we would put it, because like even on a solo set of mine, I do it. It's like I stop, close it, and I'm out. You
Yeah,
know, it's like
okay.
it's a weird. It wouldn't really. Fit,
Yeah.
it is a strange song. It doesn't really feel like it fits into a.
Yeah, nah,
Into a
it's
set,
just,
you
again,
know?
it was one of those things where
One thing
I-
we've been talking about is we want to do like a solo, like a tour where we play our solo
yeah,
material.
hmm
You know what I'm saying? Where we have like a dope set, where because we have tons of good solo material too, where we could maybe sprinkle a few Mayday tunes, but it's like we're actually doing solo shit.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? So,
yeah, and your solo on Strange did not sound at all how I expected it,
Yeah.
and I mean that in the best way possible.
Thanks, man.
It didn't sound how I thought it would, and I still thought it was really fucking good. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
I had an idea of what Burns is,
Mhm.
and that wasn't what that album was, you know, to me.
Right.
And like the Thurston Howe collab, it's fucking
Oh, yeah,
ridiculous,
sorry for the
man.
bounce,
Like,
yeah.
god damn. So,
Thanks, man.
yeah, and you know, again, Rec, I was, you know, downloading your elevator series or whatever, right?
Mhm.
Like, so, that shit with Joel Ortiz, and like, I like to say these things because I want you to know that I'm fucking familiar.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so like, and
Appreciate
No,
I-
you
I-
feel.
we
That's
appreciate
why
it, and
we
I'm-
feel comfortable talking
yeah,
to you too,
and
man.
I'm legit a fan, and
I would rather do
I-
interviews
I-
with you, like, you know, with people that know the music. You know. what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah. So I just really, I want the Mayday music thing, you know, to you know, provide for you and your families and continue to thrive and all that stuff.
Hell yeah!
Because,
Join the Patreon,
yeah,
motherfuckers.
Yeah. I do get
Join the Mayday
I get like
Patreon.
an email from Rec like twice a day, but
Yeah. I'm trying to be active. You know, we active out there.
Hey, so
It's hard, man. It's hard right now. It's a funky
you gotta
landscape
be a
right
business
now.
person now.
Yeah,
you
like
know?
we're trying to figure out how
Can't
to,
just
you
be an
know,
artist.
how to leapfrog these platforms that we've built up audiences over that they don't want us to fuck with.
Yeah.
They're not letting us talk to the audiences that we built because I get it. It's not with their business model.
Mm-hmm.
So now we're like, okay, how do we get sidestep that and do things like a mailing list, a Patreon, where people can actually support us when it counts the most? Because after all these years, now we out on our own. This is when supporting the band directly matters the most.
Mayday OnlyFans coming soon.
That's right.
Yeah, yeah. So that
Only feet.
So,
Only
you know,
feet.
took some video. You know, you guys are among like the 7 bands that my wife and I both listen to. Like we are very much not the same. You know, I'm 5'5", she's 5'10". She's a first grade teacher. You know, I'm in sales, or whatever. But we are not, like, a couple years ago. I took her because this ISP thing started for me mostly with the Great Milenko album, and I took her. They did Great Milenko front to back, and then we went up to Alpine in Wisconsin to go see Dave Matthews. You know, she basically hates this whole thing, and I hate that whole thing. And then we did that for each other, and then we both were like, we don't never need to do that again. You know what I mean? Yeah. So we have collectively with our group of friends, my brother and his wife, my wife, you know, a couple of our friends and their wives. You guys are very much an accessible band to all of them, and we have been to we went to Batter Brew in fucking Nowheresville, Illinois, the one time where all the openers played for hours, and you guys got to play for like 22 minutes because whoever the promoter was basically sold all the slots. And anyway, I've seen a couple of nightmares that you guys have had. We ran out of beer at the Eagles Club in Davenport, Iowa, which is across the river from where I live. And then the Moline one was the Cap Callis one. And you were like, oh man, small market, we might not have 30 people tonight. You like said that on your Instagram or something. There was like 400.
Yeah.
And you guys were like, oh my God.
Yeah, it was a
small
surprise.
How did that happen?
Yeah.
And so I've got a lot of, you know, kind of stories like that. And took the video tonight, sent it to kind of that group of friends. And my buddy Jake, he'll never watch this, but he was like, man, they still sound incredible. Can you get them? You know, because I used to host shows, and I was just like, man, I'm gonna sit down with them later. I'm for real gonna talk about it. So not on camera, but
We'll figure something out, man.
So and I said, yeah, man, they still sound fucking great. So,
all these years later, like, what I will give props to my brothers and like us as a whole, as a unit, is like we're dialed into performing. We still love performing.
Yeah, we like
you
what
know.
we do.
We we enjoy it. I mean, as you get older, like a lot of artists will tell you, like the logistics of touring
real
can be a
life
pain
sucks,
in the
man.
fucking side.
Yeah.
But you know, the actual performing part, putting on a show, like we all still really enjoy that, love that, respect that. And even though we've been around and you could consider us legacy or OG or legendary or whatever, in a lot of circles, we still go out there and attack the crowd like, yo, if you don't never seen us before, here we go. Let's go for the ride. We'll earn you as a fan right now. Like, there's no ego on the stage for us. So I still feel like, you know, like to go out and do what we do still, like the passion level is as high as it was when you first seen us.
All right. Incredible, guys. I can't thank you enough for your time, for real.
Appreciate you.
Thank you, man.
Fago lovers.
The logistics of all this shit, man, I really
I'm glad we
appreciate
could
you guys
link it
for
up.
doing
Hell
this.
yeah.
So, all right. Fucking
120 seconds.
yeah, I am the least important person in the room for sure. All right, y'all. This is Mayday. I'm Stockwell. Until next time, thanks everybody.
Peace. Fago lovers for life.
Yeah, I don't go there.
Right.
I don't fuck with them anymore. I used to like them, but I don't fuck with them.